Hello everybody and welcome back to another Sicky Dolls MMA video. UFC Vegas, Imavov vs Gastelum. Looking forward to this card. We've been starved for 4 weeks now. What a joke. The biggest organization in the world for MMA. We're not having a UFC event for 4 weeks, so that's perfect. Really well done by the UFC, but I'm not here to complain. Here to give out my predictions. And yeah, we'll get straight into it by Priscilla Cachoeira versus Fiore Eubanks, the tale of the two men, really. I mean, I'm going to go with Fiore Eubanks in this matchup, dude. There are question marks, like, is she fully, is she fully in the game at the moment? Because she's pulled out of so many fights. I mean, let's just even go on her Topology page here. Look how many fights she's pulled out. 2 fights against Marina Moros. She hasn't fought in she hasn't fought in a year. It'll be 13 months when she fights. So, and her last matchup, she got hit to the body by a teep kick and got finished in the 3rd round. So yeah, there are question marks, but I do see the grappling. She's got high accolades in BJJ. I mean, no Cachoeira has absolute dog shit grappling. I mean, it's garbage. I mean, look at her losses. Jillian Robertson, she lost by submission. She got grappled in the Molly McCann fight, completely dominated, and looked like a retard, I guess, on the ground against Valentina Shevchenko. So yeah, I think that Fiore Eubanks can implement that game and implement that strategy into this. I think if you don't, I beg, if she doesn't implement grappling into this matchup, dude, I might do something. But yeah, she's got good heavy top pressure. Fiore Eubanks, not many people are able to just scramble up against her. Obviously got really good BJJ, decent ground and pound, but I am worried about her defense on the feet, dude. Like, Priscilla Cachoeira hits like a man. I mean, you can just kind of tell by looking at her, but if she gets caught, dude, it's gonna be all over. As we've seen in her last fight against Lipski, I want to say it was 4 months ago, she absolutely just ran over and starched her in the 1st round, and I thought Lipski was going to be able to win that matchup by implementing her grappling. But dude, I mean, Fiore Eubanks has to win this matchup, dude. There's no way. She can't use her grappling in this situation. It's Cachoeira, dude. Literally one of the worst female grapplers you'll ever see in MMA. So yeah, give me a Fiore Eubanks by probably just by decision, 29-28 or something. I think Cachoeira's very tough and will survive to the end, but maybe she can come on late because Eubanks does gas towards the end of the fights. But I mean, Cachoeira's gas tank isn't the greatest either, let's be honest. She'll probably end up gassing in the 1st round the way she fights. Yeah, just Eubanks, use her grappling. You man. Moving on up the card, we have Jimmy Flick taking on Charles Johnson. I think this is a pretty easy one in my opinion. I'm going to go with Charles Johnson in this matchup. I don't think Jimmy Flick's very good, I'll be honest. I was watching some fights there and dude, he was getting destroyed on the feet by Cody Durden until he got that flying triangle out of nowhere, really. I mean, he was getting destroyed in that matchup. He's got decent takedowns. He's got decent, BJJ, very good BJJ, but he's a guy that will kind of gas after that 1st round, like, he's really, if he doesn't finish you, he's going to get finished. You're going to finish him. And I don't think Charles Johnson is, I mean, he's so hard to finish. I mean, look what Muhammad Makayev did. I mean, there's no way. I mean, there is a way Jimmy Flick can win this, but like, Charles Johnson, went 3 rounds against Muhammad Makayev, one of the hottest prospects in the flyweight division right now. And if we take a look at his record, like, he beat Zagas Zumagulov. I mean, that was kind of a robbery, let's be honest. But, he's beat some good guys in LFA, some boxing matches that he lost. But he's never been finished in any of his fights. I mean, look at this, all decision losses. And yeah, I don't see him getting finished in this matchup. I do see him using his jab, using his long reach against Jimmy Flick in this fight for sure. Jimmy Flick is so hittable. I mean, just go watch the Cody Durden fight. It was wow. I mean, he was getting pieced up by Cody Durden, and we all know Cody Durden's a low level flyweight. And Charles Johnson, if you can have a close matchup with Zumagulov, you're somewhat decent at fighting. So I'm gonna go with Charles Johnson, and the weird line movement. He was like minus 150 or no, plus 150 or something, and now he's like, or no, sorry, Charles Johnson was like minus 150, and now he's like minus 500 or 600 now. It's so weird. I think there's definitely something going on there. I think James Christ, or I don't know, dude. He's on the phone again, brother. But yeah, I think this is a bad matchup for Jimmy Flick, to be honest. I'm going to go Charles Johnson by second round TKO. I think it's just going to be too much for Jimmy Flick. He's just very hittable, very, very hittable. And we know Charles Johnson has a very good jab, good straight punches, and yeah, I do see them landing over and over again. Jimmy Flick's not going to be able to just get Charles Johnson to the ground when we've seen him stuff multiple takedowns from Muhammad Mokaev. Moving on up the card, we have Daniel Argueta taking on Isaac Dulgarian. Holy shit, I can't say that name. I'm going to go with Isaac in this matchup. Plus 200 underdog. Interesting. I do find that interesting. Daniel Argueta, I was doing some tape study on him, and he's got a very good grappling base. You know, he'll get at you against the fence, and you kind of make it a dirty fight and get you to the ground from there. He's got some decent ground and pound, but he's very hittable, man. There was one fight, I think it was against Silva. The guy's name was Silva, and he was just getting tagged up on the feet a lot. And I do see Isaac just being more athletic. Isaac Dulgarian's a very athletic guy. I'm pretty sure he wrestles very high level in, you know, wrestling. And I do see him really just controlling him on the ground. I mean, Daniel Argueta, even on the regional tape I did, he was getting controlled on the ground. In his last matchup against Damian Jackson, he got controlled completely on the ground, but that's Damian Jackson. He's kind of a decent featherweight, like just outside the top 15 rankings, and he should have a good account of himself in that matchup, because, you know, he took it on like a week's notice. But I'm gonna have to go with Isaac in this matchup, dude. I think that he's just more athletic, he's more powerful on the feet. Daniel Argueta's striking is very mid striking, to be honest, and you know, I just think that the BJJ advantage Isaac has is just going to be a big sign in this matchup. I think it's going to really just be too much for Daniel Argueta on the ground, and I'm going to go with Isaac because of that plus 200 underdog. I'm probably going to put a bet on that, I'll be honest. I think it's good, very good odds from what I've seen, very good odds, and he's also undefeated. The one thing I would say, he's fought absolute bums. I mean, look at these guys, dude. 1-1, 2-3, 0-0, 2-2, but 7-2 is not a bad record. TJ Britton, he's not a bad fighter himself, but yeah, like Daniel Argueta's definitely fought the better competition. I mean, look at that. He fought Damian Jackson 20-4, 14-6 he beat, 12-0 he beat, 6-3, 4-1, 3-3, 3-0. You know, he's definitely fought the better competition, but I just think this stylistic matchup is just a bad one for him. So I'm going to go with Isaac Dulgarian in this matchup. Moving on up the card, we have Alan Nascimento taking on Carlos Hernandez. I'm going to go Alan Nascimento in this matchup, dude. I really am. I think that his overall grappling and his, you know, takedowns are going to be just the difference in this matchup, but it's just at minus 350, sitting at around there. He'll be around there. I don't know the exact odds, but yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I don't really want to, you know, touch that line, dude. It's kind of like, it's very like far apart from what I would be saying. I'd be saying minus 170, minus 175 around there, but like minus 350, I don't think it warrants that much. We've seen him have so many close fights. I mean, look at his he's lost like 3 split decisions in his last like 4 losses or something. 1 split decision, 2 split decisions, 3 split decision. Like 3 out of his 4 losses are by split decision. It's like you're having so many close fights that like I don't really want to like lay minus 350 on you, dude. And Carlos Hernandez, he's got decent grappling, he's got decent boxing, goes to the body well, but I do see Nascimento's BJJ just being slightly too much in the, you know, wrestling and all of those kind of positions, because against, I forgot the last dude's name, he fought, it wasn't that guy, it was Barez, and even the Altamirano fight, like in my opinion, he didn't win that, and Barez like had his back many times, he didn't take advantage, and a guy like Alan Nascimento who trains at Shoot the Box with Charles Oliveira, and he's got decent striking, decent kicks. and he'll be improving as well. So I'm going to go with Nascimento just to get the ground control and maybe get a submission, really. But I see him getting a decision in this matchup. I think Carlos Hernandez is very tough, but I do think Nascimento has the better grappling in my opinion. So yeah, give me Nascimento by decision. Moving on up the card, we have Matheus Mendonca taking on Javid Basharat. I'm going to go with Javid Basharat confidently as well. I've just got done watching some Matheus Mendonca's tape, and dude, I'll be honest, like, he's so hittable, dude. I mean, very hittable. He's wild on the field through a lot of spinning stuff, switch jumping high kicks. He's got decent takedowns. He'll push the clinch against some guys, but I see Javid Basharat literally being better everywhere this fight goes. I see him piecing him up, landing massive shots, and I do see him getting a stoppage victory against Matheus Mendonca. Mendonca has slowed down. He slowed down against what's his name? His second last fight, Nobre, but that was like 2 years ago at 21. So he might have improved a lot since then. But yeah, like, he's very hittable on the feet. He leaves his chin out there, and he's very, very counterable, if that makes sense. Is that a word, counterable? I don't know, who cares? But yeah, Javid Basharat's a guy that will, like, sit on the outside, and then you'll his opponents will think they're close enough, if that makes sense, but Javid is just out of range, and he'll answer back with his own strikes, and I do see that being costly for Matheus in this matchup. I think Javid by finish is the way I'm going to go in this matchup for sure. He's got decent leg kicks, he's got decent body kicks, a really nice teep kick up the middle. He's got a good grappling himself, really good grappling defense, and got some decent submission ability. I don't know how many submissions he has on his record. I might look like an absolute retard if he has 0 submissions on his record. No, he has a few. Yeah, he has a few submissions. So yeah, he's got a good submission ability, and I do think that just his overall MMA game is just far better. I think Basharat's a guy that will be able to fight in that top 15 very soon. Matheus Mendonca is coming in here on his debut against a high level UFC fighter here, and I'm going to go with Javid to get this done by finish. And second round, KO or TKO. Moving on up the card, we have Rebecki taking on Nick Fiore. This is a very obvious pick. Rebecki is, in my opinion, going to steamroll through Nick Fiore. Nick Fiore's Hansu Gracie black belt, I want to say. A Gracie of some sort, black belt. So yeah, he's got really good high level BJJ, some decent takedowns, a nice trip takedown I've seen, decent double leg takedown, but Rebecki's a different animal, dude. Look at the guys Rebecki's fought out in the regional scene. He's fought some high level guys, well, not high level, but decent guys, like 7-2, 10-4, 11-1, 13-12, 12-2, 12-1, 12-2. These guys are like good. And then let's go into Nick Fiore's record. Let's check. 5-19, 15-13, 8-4, 3-9, 15-98, 15 is the same guy twice. That must have been like a fight, just took on short notice or something. But yeah, I do see just, let me just check my notes. Rebecki just being like too powerful on the feet. He likes that big right hook, man. That big lead right hook. And I see it landing on Fiore all day. I think that he's going to get a big finish by that right hand of his. He does swing wild though, and he does leave himself open. I think against a high level striker he could get exposed for sure. And his side to side head bobbing is very like a high level striker could expose that for sure and set him up. But even in the Dana White Contender Series fight, he showed he got kneed in the face, and like he dips his head so much. If you watch some of his regional tape, you'll see so much head dipping of his that a knee is I think, and the way he loses is basically by getting kneed in the face, but every other way I just don't really see how he loses this matchup. I don't see him getting taken down. He's got very good wrestling, very good BJJF himself, as you saw in the Dana White Contender Series fight. So yeah, I'm going to go with Rebecki by KO in the first round. Moving on up the card, we have Alhassan taking on Claudio Ribeiro. I'm going to go with Alhassan. Very controversial. I think most people are picking, yeah, they are. 73% of people are picking Ribeiro, but I just like... It's very hard to rely on, but I really do like the grappling ability of Alhassan, the judo. I know he doesn't use it much, but he used it somewhat his last fight against... Joaquin Buckley, and Joaquin Buckley got like 5 takedowns himself, I think, or like, I don't know, something like that, but Alhassan got a few takedowns himself, and it was a close decision. I mean, Joaquin Buckley, let's be honest, he's a guy that's like just outside the top 15, one of the best guys in the middleweight division, outside the top 15 in my opinion. And yeah, like Claudio Ribeiro's taking a big step up in competition. I just spot everywhere. Love to see it. Oops, wrong thing. Claudio Ribeiro, he's taking a big step up in competition. Ivan Valenzuela, I bet on him. Completely regret it. He is 0 IQ. I mean, what was he doing? Like the spinning back fist, that was crazy. He's had close fights with the 24-20 guy, 8-6 guys, beat 2-0 guy, 8-3, 9-7. He's lost to 4-1 dude, 5-5 now, and these are like, they're not that long ago. We're talking like 4 years. Yeah, he's not. I don't know. I'm not really on the hype train of this guy. I'll be honest. From what I've seen, he swings for the fences. He's very wild, dude. He's very wild. Leaves himself so open. And Abdul Razak Hassan has all the experience in this matchup, dude. He's seen shit like this before. And I do see him. He could land a big shot here by KO, or he could just like wrestle the guy, or get a ground and pound stoppage. Ribeiro does have a good get up game, but dude, I don't know, from what I've seen of Ribeiro, it's just like left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook. It's just hooks, spamming hooks. He does have a good, sometimes he'll throw like a right straight, but I don't know, dude. I'm not really on that hype train. I do think Abdul Razak Hassan does implement his judo in this matchup. Does get the fight to the ground, and he does have some big power himself, so he can land on Ribeiro. So yeah, give me Alhassan in this matchup. Moving on up the card, we have Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Hani, or however he said, Barcelos. I don't know if you have to like pronounce it or not, because it's Brazilian and it's like Portuguese, so yeah. Anyway, let me just make that full screen. Whoops, wrong button. Let's go over here. Okay, here we go. Sorry, this is unprofessional of me. But yeah, Umar Nurmagomedov, he's got amazing grappling, we know this. He's got a very nice lead question mark kick, amazing kicks. But, I mean, dude, the odds are just a joke, in my opinion. Like, Hani Barcelos is very good on the feet, dude. He's got really good boxing. He's got very good BJJ defense and offense. We saw that against guys like, say, Nurmagomedov. We've seen that in other fights as well, but I do see Umar Nurmagomedov winning this matchup. I see him just mixing in everything and just winning the minutes in this matchup. I think a decision is what it's going to be for Umar Nurmagomedov. I don't see him getting a finish against Hani Barcelos. Barcelos is such a tough guy to finish, dude. He's so durable, really good submission defense. He's a high level BJJ fighter. I think his dad is like such a high level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And yeah, Umar Nurmagomedov, I just think will have the advantage just as an MMA fighter, if that makes sense. Just he can take it to the ground, he can clinch, he can have moments on the feet and just mixing all up. But I don't think it's as one-sided. It's just minus 500 heavy favorite, minus 700, minus 1000 in some places. I mean, it's kind of crazy at this point, but yeah, I think Nurmagomedov should win, but it's complete, like, it's just a Nurmagomedov tax, like Habib's brother. I don't even know, it's Dagestan, I guess, could be anywhere. But yeah, if you got that joke. Yeah, it could be his cousin, could be his brother. I really don't know. But yeah, it's the Nurmagomedov V at the end. Tax, because he's Khabib's, like I said, brother or cousin. I don't know. Moving on up the card, jeez, my hair's a mess. We have Vieira taking on Raquel Pennington. This is an interesting matchup. I do think it's very close. I mean, it is women's MMA, and Pennington is so that could give her an advantage in this matchup, but like, it's kind of hard to say. Nah, I'm joking. So I think that, honestly, the power edge goes to Vieira. I think the athleticism goes to Vieira. I think the grappling goes to Vieira. I think the submission ability goes to Vieira. But Raquel Pennington bites it down in her mouth guard, and she'll end up pressuring against the cage and kind of making it a boring fight, I'll be honest. A lot of her fights are boring. It's just, controlling against the cage, dirty boxing in there, and yeah, that could be useful because Ketlen Vieira has been controlled in her last fight, especially. I mean, look at her last fight against Hume. I thought she won that fight. I was one of the few, and I think I'm very correct on that statement, because Hume did no damage whatsoever, just held her against the cage and did nothing with it. So yeah, I think that Vieira will land the bigger shots in this matchup, and will get this win by decision. Raquel Pennington's very tough. She'll not go away, and I do see her having she'll be on the front foot more than Vieira, but I do see Vieira landing that big right hand over and over again. She's got a nasty right uppercut, and just, an overall better striking and just overall better MMA game. She's just more skilled, just better everywhere, in my opinion. So yeah, give me Ketlen Vieira by decision. Moving on up the card, we have Punahele Soriano taking on Roman Kopylov. I'm going to go with Soriano in this matchup, dude, I'll be honest. I think that he has more options to win this matchup. I think Kopylov has shown really bad takedown defense against Arrive, and I think it was Carl Robinson. I mean, you're getting submitted by Carl Robinson, dude. I mean, Jesus, you're a disappointment. But no, seriously, apparently he has been working on his defensive wrestling. His defensive wrestling was better in his last matchup, but dude, I mean, I don't know, like Alessio Di Chirico, like he's a hit or miss fighter. He'll either be really good or really dog shit, and he was really dog shit in that matchup, and I'm just not impressed by Kopylov, I'll be honest. His striking is good. He has a nice, nasty body kick, good straight punches, uses his length very well. He'll have a 2.5 inch reach advantage in this matchup. But dude, I just like the Soriano power and his willingness to get on the inside and land his big shots, and the wrestling he'll have as well to mix it in. So yeah, I'm going to go Soriano by finish in the second round, I'll say. Yeah, I'll go TKO second round for Soriano. Moving on up the card, we have a very exciting matchup. Dan Ige taking on Damon Jackson. I'm going to go with Dan Ige. I just believe that his wrestling has been exposed defensively, but I mean, look at the guys he's fighting, dude. I mean, it's Evloev, I mean, Josh Emmett. These guys are, I mean, Josh Emmett is literally in an interim title fight coming up here soon. Chan Sung Young, I mean, these guys are the elite of the division. So 1-5 or whatever it is in his last like 6 fights. Let me just check. I just clicked on the wrong one. Nice one. Dan Ige, he's like, yeah, 1-5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1-4. Sorry, I can't count. I'm definitely retarded. Anyway, yeah, like 1-4 in his last 5. I mean, dude, look at the guys. Calvin Kattar, Edson Barboza, Gavin Tucker, he KO'd in like 22 seconds. Like, he's fighting the elite of the elite, dude. I mean, but like Damon Jackson, I'll be honest, like 22-4 record, got a decent record on a nice winning streak. Last fight he fought Pat Sabatini, front kicked him in the face, I'm pretty sure, and like hurt him really bad. Pat Sabatini was doing the chicken dance all over the place and got the ground and pound finish, almost like submitted him, didn't he? Almost got the submission. But yeah, he slipped out. So I'm going to go with Dan Ige in this matchup to land the big right hand. I'm not impressed with Damon Jackson. He's been finished 3 out of his 4 losses by TKO KO. And I do think that's going to be a big thing in this matchup. Dan Ige's got massive power in his hands. He's fast. He blitzes really well. And I just think he'll have the stand-up advantage. And I do see him getting a 50k performance of tonight bonus for Dan. 50k Ige. He has been missing that for a long time now. But yeah, I do see Dan Ige getting the finish in this matchup for sure. First, second round, I'll go first round, TKO KO with Dan Ige. I'm surprised the line is so close, to be honest. I would have thought minus 150 or something for Dan Ige in this matchup, but I think I'll be betting on Dan Ige for sure, man. So stay tuned for my video on Wednesday for that best bets video. Moving on to the main event, I'm going to go with a very controversial pick, and you already know what it is. It's going to be KG, Kelvin Gastelum in this matchup, dude. I really just like this matchup for him. I think it's going to be like an Israel Adesanya 2.0 kind of matchup for him. No, it's not like the same style. Imavov doesn't have the same style or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the way Gastelum will fight this matchup, he'll get in the inside and land his big power hooks, big left hands, his big right hands. You know, he'll really put on the pressure against Imavov in this matchup, in my opinion. And Imavov has slowed down before, dude. If you look at his fight against Joaquin Buckley, he slowed down. Phil Hawes, he got held against the fence completely in that matchup, and Gastelum can do that if he really wants to in this matchup, if he can get it there. Hold him against the fence, maybe work a takedown if he can, but I don't really see any takedowns being that effective for him in this fight. But yeah, I think Kelvin Gastelum is going to be able to put on the pressure and put it on Imavov in the last few rounds. The question is, though, in my opinion, like, can he win a round in the first three? That is the question. And I do believe he nicks a round. He nicks the second or third round in this matchup. I think the first round he definitely loses. The second round he could lose. But the third, fourth, and fifth, I really do believe he'll really put on Imavov and land some big shots. We've seen Joaquin Buckley land some massive shots on Imavov, and I think Kelvin Gastelum's a far better version of Joaquin Buckley. I mean, Kelvin Gastelum, what's his record right now? 17-8, but like, who's he losing to? Look at the guys he's losing to, man. Jared Cannonier, Robert Whittaker, Jack Herman. I mean, Darren Till. Darren Till was actually a good fighter back then when he cared. Israel Adesanya. These guys are like top of the middleweight division, even though middleweight is dog shit, but you know what I mean? Like, Kelvin Gastelum's a really, really good fighter still, in my opinion. Even in the Robert Whittaker fight he fought, he looked okay. In the Jared Cannonier fight, it's like whatever. But like Imavov, 26, he's going to be improving every single like training camp, which, you know, we could see massive improvements. And he does have a nasty flying knee up the middle, stepping knees that could cause problems for Kelvin Gastelum, because Kelvin Gastelum, if you watch some of his fights, he does like put his head low when he swings with his big hooks, which could lead to a knee in the face by Imavov, the Russian sniper as his nickname is. But honestly, I think Kelvin Gastelum gets this win by decision. That's my prediction for this matchup. So there you have it, guys. There was my UFC Vegas, 67 or some bullshit now. Can't believe we're still fighting in the Apex, but yeah, there you have it. There's my predictions. I will have a UFC best bets video by Wednesday. Be sure to tune in to that video. I'll also maybe be doing an MMA news video tomorrow, if there is any MMA breaking news. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Leave some of your best, picks for this weekend. If you agree, disagree, all that shit. But yeah, be sure to check those videos out soon, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.